my thoughts. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my...
What the hell's going on, people? This is Periodic, and you see the title of the video. We are going over every single card on the Dokkan Thank You Celebration list. These are going to be the 77 units that you can obtain with the gift card 2. There's a lot of units. In case you're wondering, this was the 2018 list. This is the 2019. So there's so many cards in here. I'm going to give you my thoughts and whether they're a good choice or not, and then you choose who you want at the end of the day. It's not necessarily going to be like a number 1, number 2, number 3 list, but it's going to be like pros and cons for each. So let's get started. So we're going to start off with the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. We're going to go straight down to the TUR form. And so normally on the TUR form, not really great. It's attack and defense 90% when HP is 80% or below. But what we have to pay attention to is the fact that this man gets an easy A, and when he gets his easy A, he's actually pretty darn good. So AGL Tech and Physical type Key +3, HP attack and defense 80%, raises attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns, and then just gives himself straight up attack and defense 90% at the start of turn, no longer have to be under 80%, and then gets 15% defense every time he gets attacked, up to 60%. So that's actually pretty good, because if we go to the calculation down below, his additional defense boost is separate, and his boost from his super attack, so his maximum defense boost is 204% and can reach 477% when super attacking. So that's actually with an additional super attack every single turn, he can reach a maximum defense of 751%. So that's actually pretty crazy. So this is a pretty good choice, especially if you don't have many Super Saiyan 2 Vegetas. He's in a ton of categories: Resurrected Warriors, Majin Buu Saga, Pure Saiyans, Vegeta's family rivals. So he's actually a pretty darn good option here, and he should be getting his Extreme Z Awakening fairly soon. So if we move over to the next double the power Gotenks, this is the AGL Gotenks. Again, we're going to go straight to the Super Saiyan version. This one, not that great. Attack 15% per key sphere obtained, causes supreme damage, lowers defense. There's much better options for Super Saiyan Gotenks, so I definitely don't suggest getting this guy. If we go over to the Super Saiyan 3 Goku GT, again, we're going to jump over to his Dokkan Awakened form. He's actually not bad. Attack and defense 90% at the start of turn, causes supreme damage, raises attack for 3 turns. So this is actually not a bad card. He's got limit breaking form, he's got Fierce Battle, Over in a Flash, he's got the GT link, which is nice, and then Super Saiyan and Golden Warrior, and Kamehameha for that matter. So this is a pretty solid option, though I do think that the strength version of this card is better. But even still, this is a solid option if you don't need a support and you need somebody who will actually do decent amount of damage, and he will. So let's keep it going. AGL Godku. So we're going to scroll down and switch him over. There we go. Flaring Battle Impulse, Super Saiyan God Goku. So again, another decent unit. This guy has godly links, and I actually mean that. He's got godly power as one of the links. Attack and defense 80%. Raises attack, causes supreme damage. That's really good. Shocking speed, Super Saiyan, Over in a Flash, Fierce Battle, just really, really good. He's on a ton of different teams. So again, another solid option there. And if we go over here, this is the Brother's Will, or as we like to say, the All in the Family, or the Family Kamehameha Gohan. So he raises attack for 1 turn. He gives himself 90% attack, defense 40%, but the main thing is that he links very well with the he's got Golden Warrior, so he links very well with the Goten and Trunks LR. So that's pretty much his place. He's probably, he might be the least useful of the 3. The Goku, the Goten, and the Gohan. I'd probably say the Goten is the most useful of it, but either way. So if we go over to the Pure Confidence Super Vegeta, so causes extreme damage. Yeah, let's go to the TUR form. So AGL Strength and Physical Key +2, attack and defense 25%. might actually make sense in certain teams. You'd be surprised if you could build a team like this on Pure Saiyans or Vegeta's family or Super Saiyans. The only problem is you're going to have a much better Super Vegeta. Like, there's much better Super Vegetas than this guy. So I definitely don't suggest going for him. And we have, whoopsie, frontline fighter Gohan. He does in fact get a Extreme Z Awakening, which makes him decent. Supreme damage with 25% chance of stunning the enemy. He gives himself 100% when his key, or 100% attack when his key is 6 or more, and defense 120% when you drop below 80% HP, and defense 40% and critical hit once only when HP is 79% or below. So that's, or I'm sorry, this is HP is 80% or above. So he gives himself a lot of defense when you have a lot of health, and he gives himself a little bit of defense when your health drops below. So not the best, definitely not the best Mystic Gohan for sure. So if we go back to the list here, we're going to take a look at the Tora. So he's decent for his particular team. Whoopsie. We kind of just want to go to the, yeah. So he's okay, like, key +3 for allies, right? So where is his? There it is. Here it is. So key +3, attack 30%. That's not bad. All allies, right? 3 key is actually pretty good. Recovers 6% HP for the more giant form category allies on his team. Not really good. But the key 3, attack 30%, that is not bad. And he has pretty decent links, actually. Shadow the Limit, Saiyan Pride, Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Roar. Like, this is actually really good next to the Super Saiyan 4s. And he is on Pure Saiyan, so you could put him alongside the Super Saiyan 4s. There are better support units for Pure Saiyans, but if you're in a pinch and you don't really have a good support for that team, then he's actually a pretty solid choice. If we continue with the, is this Bullpan, I believe? Yeah, Warrior Girl with strong DNA, Bullpan. So if we click on her here, she gives all allies key +3 when HP is 30% or above, which is pretty much almost all the time you're going to get that. Supreme damage, not really great, just a weaker version of Bola. Probably wouldn't suggest her. Alright, so we're going to go to Push Up Boo. It's such a weird card thing. Oh, he still doesn't have his Dokkan Awakening. Wow, that's actually really sad. So Shape Up Boo, that's what it is, not Push Up Boo, Shape Up Boo. I mean, it is what it is. 80% attack, additional attack and defense 70% or 40% for 7 turns. Wait until this guy gets a Dokkan Awakening before you even looking at him. And then Dispo. Dispo's actually pretty solid, especially if you want to throw him on a Universal Survival Saga team. The fact that he gains 20% attack and chance to evade enemies' attack up to 60% is pretty solid, and he raises his attack for 6 turns, but this attack can keep on getting higher and higher and higher, which is very, very good. So he's a really fun card to use. Unfortunately, he's only on Universal Survival Saga, so that's the only team you can run him on. So it's a little, what's the word? It's a little restrictive. So if we go to Kid Buu, okay, so this man does have a Extreme Z Awakening, and we're going to go take a look at it right here. He becomes a AGL key +2, 70% lead. He lowers defense, and he just recovers HP at the start of turn, and he gains 14% attack and 7% defense per key sphere obtained. Not really that good, and is definitely not as good as the physical version of this card. So we're going to skip him for sure. We're going to have the Scouter Vegeta, or the Great Ape Vegeta, who desperately needs a better card here. So when he goes Great Ape, 70% attack and defense, 1 HP is 80% or below, and that's about it, right? So yeah, no. Most Great Apes are pretty bad, to be honest. This is actually a pretty decent card to start off with. I know this card helped me quite a bit early on in my Dokkan career. Damage received -90% when HP is 50% or above. That's insane. This is the highest damage reduction in the game. That's crazy. And if you're trying to build a nuking team, then he is the AGL nuking lead there, 33% per AGL key obtained. So he's on a ton of categories. So this is actually a decent choice again if you're having trouble taking hits and whatnot, and you have anybody from these categories, then he's a pretty solid hit. He will have better versions of Golden Frieza coming out, or that are already out, but to start off, he's not bad. If we keep it going, this is the Grade 8 Turles. I don't really suggest getting him unless if you have the Movie Boss Hero Turles, because they share a lot of links. He gives himself 3 ki, he gives himself 90% attack when ki is 9 or more, but so essentially you just have to give him 6 ki, right? Or, you know, that's 3 for himself, 3 from the leader, 3 from the other leader. That's 9 right there. He'll have about 90% attack. But yeah, he links perfectly with the AGL Turles, but if you don't have him, you're not going to want to run them together. So that's a little bit limiting. The AGL support Android 17. So if we click over here, ruled by bloodlust. So let's take a look here. AGL and intelligence ki +2, attack and defense 25%. So again, not terrible. Like, that's actually not bad at all. Good for an early support unit. I was definitely using him early on squads, especially with a lot of androids, especially with the LR androids when I first got them, and I didn't have that many cards. So not a terrible choice if you are low, like if you have a very early team, but yeah, there's definitely better options later on. And then you have 18 here, if we go, who got a Dokkan Awakening in December of 2018. So attack and defense 70%, changes physical key spheres to AGL key spheres. Just remember that she is an extreme unit, so if you're building an extreme team, she could be pretty good on there. Extreme AGL team. Changes intelligence key spheres to physical when HP is 70% or below. So essentially this changes int to physical, and then the physical changes to AGL. That's how she works. Link skills, pretty standard Android links. So again, if you're building a extreme AGL team, then she's not a bad option. Let's move over to tech. So Giant Ape Bardock. Let's take a look at this bad boy. So attack 100% when HP is 30% or above, and that's it. Yeah, no thanks. When he gets an easy A, then we'll talk. For now, not even worth looking at or talking about. GT Trunks. So again, another one of those dual support characters, attack and strength, ki +2, attack and defense 25%. There are better options. There's many, well, I wouldn't even say there's many better Super Saiyan Trunks GTs. He's okay. He's all right. He raises defense by 30% for 6 turns. That's pretty solid, but unless if you're building a Dragon Ball Seekers team, or like, you're really not going to include him in many teams just because it's so restrictive of tech and strength. So let's get out of there. This is a great defensive option here, this Tech Vegeta here. So if you're, again, missing defensive characters, then he's going to be a great unit for that. 90% attack, ki +2, 120% defense when ki is 10 or more. That's actually really good. He lowers attack, which is not bad. So this is actually a pretty strong dude. He is on rival category Vegeta's family and Pure Saiyans. These are teams that you'll probably see more of, especially these two. You're always going to see a Pure Saiyans or Vegeta's family leader in your friends list. Rivals and Super Saiyan 3, not so much. Jumping over to Whis, we really don't have to go too far into this one. Attacked enemies, attack -20%, 50% chance to stun the attacked enemy. Yeah, hell no. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. So we got Paikon, or Paikuhan, however they pronounce it. Ki +3, attack 7,000, defense 3,000 when facing only one enemy. If you see any card and their Dokkan Awakening still has you know, only 4 digits for attack, 4 digits for defense, if it's not at least 10,000, then don't even look at them. Get them out of here. Wait for a Dokkan or a Extreme Z Awakening. So this is the AGL, or I'm sorry, the Tech Orb Nuker here. So 33% attack. So he gives himself 30% attack and changes Rainbow to Tech Ki. Fun if you're trying to bring characters that like get stronger when they have Tech Ki and stuff like that. But besides that, you're never going to use them. There's better Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gokus. And we're going to go to the Tech Super Saiyan Bardock, who's actually not terrible. Again, he's a slightly better version because he gives himself 40% attack, strength to Tech Ki spheres. And then he's got okay links, but again, you're probably never going to use him. He's just good, again, to bring alongside characters that just devour tech key spheres and get even stronger. But besides that, you're not going to really want. So here's one where it's like, this is a pretty great card here. And I do recommend getting at least one copy of this card. So, causes supreme damage to enemy, raises allies attack by 30%. Key plus 2, attack and defense 90% just off the bat. That's actually very good. He gives himself 2 key. That's fantastic. He raises allies attack by 30%. That's fantastic. And if he's on a Vegeta's family team, or if he's just on one of these many teams that has multiple Vegeta's family categories allies on his team, at least 2, he gains, or they gain, attack and defense 30%. So that's pretty fantastic alongside of his pretty good links. So this is a very, very good choice. And then you have the Tech Tapion. Again, he works in the same realm as the Tech Bardock, and that Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. Changes key spheres from strength to rainbow. He gives himself attack and defense 80%, start a turn, and a 25% chance to perform a critical hit. Sounds okay, but his links are terrible, so he actually doesn't do that much damage. Experienced Fighters, Courage, Revival, Brainiacs, Rival Duo, Hero. Like, look at who has Hero link. It's 20% defense. Like, huh? Who? What? Mainly free-to-play units, so yeah, it's just not good at all. And then if we go to the Tech Future Gohan, awesome art, love it. Attack and defense 70% when HP is 80% or below. Yeah, no thank you. So if we go over to the extreme units, now we have Tech Majin Vegeta, who actually used to be a great OG in the World Tournament. Attack 50% to start a turn, mass damage and rare chance to stun all enemies. So strangely, he actually attacks all enemies. Whoops, he didn't actually mean to do that. But yeah, so very, very interesting that he has that super attack, and he's got fantastic art. Hopefully he gets an Extreme Z Awakening, but for now he's pretty bad. So then you get Tech Super Boo, another card who's not great at the moment. Recovers 30% of damage dealt as health. Supreme damage, rare chance to stun the enemy. Yeah, I'm going to give it a hot pass on that. Now we're starting getting into very interesting. This card right here, this Nova Shenron, is actually a pretty solid Extreme Z Awakened unit. Unfortunately, his category is pretty bad. And when I say that, I don't mean that they have bad cards on it. They actually have incredible cards on it with the Super Saiyan 4s, with the Omega Shenron, who hits like a truck. Characters like that. Unfortunately, no one runs that team, and it is probably one of the smallest categories in the game. So key plus 3, attack and defense 90%. We talked about earlier, if he gives himself 3 key and 90% attack and defense, that's fantastic. And he's a Shadow Dragons category ally, attack and defense 30%. Once that category expands a bit more, his worth is going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, the only thing that's going to hold him back a little bit is his links with Gentleman and Cold Judgment, though I say that if they add more Shadow Dragons into this actual category, then Shadow Dragons here is going to be really good. Cold Judgment will probably be solid, and then Shocking Speed GT Shattering Limit just really, really good for key generation. And then if we take a look at the Tech Kid Buu, so he actually Dokkan Awakens to the big boy Majin Buu. Gives himself 2 key, attack 70% when HP is 99% or below, so you'll pretty much always have attack 70%. Fortunately, he gives himself no defense, so that kind of sucks. And then if we go last but not least in this Extreme Tech, Perfected Evil Janembu. He does not have a Dokkan Awakening. Attack to enemies, attack minus 30%. He probably will never get an Dokkan Awakening, because unless if they make a Dragon Ball Fusions Part 2, he's probably never going to get one. So let's keep it going. Intelligence. Int Whis. I'm sure a lot of us have pulled this card in the past. Very interesting. Key plus 2, attack and defense 20% for all allies. Not terrible, not incredible. I mean, it's pretty good passive on Realm of Gods, Siblings Bond, Master Student Bond, but I do feel like you would get better support units. But if you really are hurting for a support unit, pretty good here. 2 key, attack and defense 20%. If we keep it moving, the Intelligence God Goku, let's just boom, Dokkan Awaken the boy. Attack and defense 80%. When the HP is 30% or above, you're just always going to be there. That's not bad. Again, another person with pretty good links on the teams that he goes on, so not a terrible card there. Let's go to the Lord and Savior Shugesh, the giant ape boy himself. So all allies attack and defense 7,000, not fantastic. Plus an additional defense 2,000 up to 6,000 per giant form category ally on the team. Again, if you want to run a low-class warrior or giant form team, okay, whatever. But besides that, not really good. If we move along to Super Saiyan Intelligence Goku with the Awakening here, pretty dope art in my opinion. Again, another version of those 40% attack changing orbs. So this one changes AGL to Intelligence, rare chance to stun, not really great. We're going to skip. And we're going to move over to Pandel, who, does have a Dokkan Awakening. So she's interesting. Attack 30% for all allies. You can throw her on the Fusion team. I don't really suggest it. She does have okay with Fused Fighter, Shattering the Limit, Saiyan Lineage in Fighter, which is fascinating. Battlefield Diva, whatever the case is. But we'll pass on that. And then lastly, the Troll Intelligence Beerus does look dope. But here it is, 120% attack when performing a super attack. That's about it. Raises defense by 30% for 6 turns. Still will get hit very hard. Don't really suggest the Beerus. If we go over to Extreme, then we have the Intelligence Perfect Cell, who I just keep pulling more and more cards of. He Extremes, he Awakens. Raises attack, causes supreme damage, gives himself 90% attack and defense, pretty good. Recovers 20% HP whenever HP is 30% or below. Not really that good, because usually if you get down that low, you'll just get one-shotted. But whatever, there's better perfect cells, but if you need to throw him on a team, he does fit on a million categories, and his links are pretty good with other androids. Let's keep it moving right along. We have Intelligence Turles, who I do feel will get an Extreme Z Awakening anytime soon. His art is fantastic. He gives 3 key attack 20% for all allies when HP is 50% or above. He used to be the OG support king until the AGL one came out. He's still pretty decent if you don't have the AGL support one. Of course, he's on Movie Bosses, Pure Saiyan's Conquest of Tower, and then he's got really good links, especially on an Extreme team. But if you have the AGL Turles, you will never run this guy because the AGL Turles is just better. Speaking about just better, we have the Intelligence Metal Cooler, who just got an Extreme Z Awakening. Well, not that recent, but it was July 2019 on Japan. So now in his EZA form, he gives supreme damage. He gives himself attack and defense 50%, which he drastically needed. He gives all allies 30% attack, but he also gives extreme class allies key +3 and defense 40%. So pretty insane that now you can run him alongside super units, because he's going to give himself 50% attack and defense, and he's going to give those units 30% attack. But he really fits well on Wicked Bloodline, Movie Bosses, an Extreme Res Warriors, an Extreme Artificial Life Forms, and then obviously Conquest of Conquest of Terror. He's just a monster. This may be definitely a card you might want to pick up because he's such a good support unit. Speaking about pretty good, cards that were decent and then got better with their Extreme Z Awakening, this Android 13, very interesting card. So Tech Spheres go to Rainbow. He gives himself 2 key on top of the 1 for Rainbow Spheres, so he gets 3 for every Rainbow Spheres. Gives himself attack and defense 50%, which is not bad. Plus he gives himself an additional 13% defense per Android category ally on team. And if we scroll down, that means that I guess it didn't calculate how high his defense goes, but that's 13 times 7, so that's like 7 with the 3, that's 21, so yeah, that's like what, 90% does he get up to? Somewhere around there. Please do the math and let me know down below. So a decent defensive unit. Unfortunately, his links are not that great, but whatever. Let's keep it going. So we're going to go to the Intelligence 17. Actually nowhere near as good as the AGL one. Gives himself 90% attack, gives himself 2 key when he's only facing 1 enemy. Unfortunately, that's just not good enough in my opinion, so we're going to pass on him. And then lastly, the Celza, don't believe he's got a Dokkan Awakening, nope. So gives himself defense and attack 70%, high chance of giving himself 30% attack, high chance of giving himself 10% HP at the start of turn. Actually not terrible. Unfortunately, he only stays at level 100, and he's only on 2 categories, so there's that. So let's go down to Strength. We're on Super Strength. So this is a card that you're probably going to get a lot of. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, one of the OG Extreme Z Awakened cards, causes supreme damage, greatly lowers defense. I think he might have been the first. I don't remember, actually. October 2018. Was he the first? No, he may not have been the first. Anyway, gives himself 40% defense, gives himself 80% attack when his HP is 30% or above, plus 30% more attack when HP is 50% or above, plus additional 30% attack when HP is 80% or above. So if we go down here, so here it is. His maximum boost is 140% attack when HP is 80% or above, and he gives himself that 40% defense. So not terrible, especially with decent links there. You can put him on a ton of different teams. There are probably better Super Saiyan 3 Gokus, but he is not bad. Alright, so let's go. So here are the right next to each other, the All in the Family, Kamehameha, Goku, and Goten. So this boy raises allies attack by 25% when he super attacks, gives himself 3 ki, gives himself attack and defense 80% when your HP is 30% or above, so that's very solid. Has decent links here, and awesome card art as per usual. If we get out of there and go to the Goten, the reason why I say the Goten is probably the best one out of the 3, the Gohan, the Goten, and the Goku, is this. He changes physical orbs to rainbow orbs, and he gives himself attack and defense 70%. And he raises defense by 30% for 3 turns, so that's just pretty solid. He's on a million categories. He's got pretty decent links, especially again alongside the LR Goten and Trunks, and he's just a decent card overall. So let's go over to the Strength Android 18, doing the flippin' Destructo Disc in the first one. I believe that was the Destructo Disc, but now she actually raises attack for 6 turns when she supers, gives herself 50% attack plus additional attack and defense 50% when HP is 50% or above. So that's 100 attack, 50% defense. Not terrible at all. Decent links. She's got a lot of them. Decent categories. She's okay. There's better Android 18s. If we move over to the Strength God Goku, who's got, again, fantastic art. He is the equivalent of the AGL God Goku. Attack and defense 80% when performing a super attack. Raises attack and defense by 30%. That's pretty solid as well. Pretty good option. I probably wouldn't use a ticket on him, but he's not terrible. This Bootinks actually just got, I always say Bootinks, and I mean it as in like Boo, like because he does ghosts. But this Gotenks actually is decent here, attacking 77% when he's at the start of turn, plus 23% attack. Attack 77% at the start of turn, plus an additional 23% attack as the first attacker in a turn. So that's decent attack, unfortunately, and he raises his allies attack by 20% when he supers, but no defense, so that kind of stinks, to be honest. And this is it right here. Yeah, it's not calculated separately. Total boost of 100% attack. Yeah, there you go. So thank you for clarifying that up. Dokkan Wikia. So we're going to jump into a card that desperately needs an Extreme Z Awakening. This awesome card art. Goku greatly raises attack, gives himself 90% attack, and survives KO attacks when HP is 20% or above. So you're probably never going to use this guy. He has incredible freaking art. I really hope he becomes strong with Extreme Z Awakening so we can actually use him, but do not pick him. If we go to Granny Panty Fascia over here, as General Bardock would say, supreme damage to enemies, raises allies attack by 20%, it changes in key spheres to strength, 30% attack and defense, chance to turn into a giant ape, pretty bad. This is the Goku I was talking about, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Kid one. So if we go over here, as you can see, raises attack for 3 turns, that's pretty good, and then gives everyone 33% attack. He also has Saiyan Roar, which is 25% attack to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, pretty much all the Super Saiyan 4s, so that's fantastic. Pretty good there, support unit. And then we go to the boy Barlot. I mean, what can you say about Barlot? He gives himself attack and defense for every key sphere obtained. 15% attack, defense 10%. Greatly raises attack for 1 turn. Yeah, no thanks. Pretty much all the Dragon Ball Fusion characters are bad. Weirus is like decent, but even he's not incredible. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta GT. He is also another unit that is pretty decent. Raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. Attack and defense 90% at the start of the turn. Pretty solid again. GT version of the Super Saiyan 3. And then last but not least, for Super Strength, you have Topo, who is another solid choice for Universal Survival Saga and even Realm of Gods. Gives all allies attack and defense 35%, all enemies defense minus 50%, and raises allies attack by 25%. That's pretty good. Decent links here too, especially the Tournament of Power, 3 key, Fierce Battle, very good. Plus he looks awesome and does very cool super attacks. So we have another character that got very good with Extreme Z Awakening, this strange Skitty Boo. So gives himself 90% attack and defense, raises his own attack for 6 turns when he supers. All enemies attack and defense minus 20%, which is pretty solid. Gives himself an additional and a 50% chance of evading enemies' attack when he's facing a Majin Buu Saga category enemy. So not bad at all. Decent links for other Majins, as you would imagine. Actually has Shattering the Limit, which is strange, the fact that he's got a key on him, which most Majins don't. But yeah, he gets decent for sure. We have the Strength Raditz here, who yeah, doesn't really get decent. Attack and defense 12% per key sphere obtained. Yeah, no thank you. We're just going to skip that right away. Striped Zamasu, who I just keep pulling for some reason instead of the AGL Zamasu. Just pretty bad. Attack 60%, recover 10% whenever HP is 80% or below. Yeah, no thank you. Just skip that for sure. And then you have the Kuliza, who does not have a Dokkan Awakening. Attack 70% when performing a super. Pass. Pass. And we are finally into the physical. So you have the other Gohan with another Extreme Z Awakening. Raises attack for 6 turns. Key plus 3. Attack defense or attack 100%. Defense 120 when HP is 80% or below or above. Defense 40%. Critical hit once only when HP is 79% or below. So essentially the same version of the other Ultimate Gohan. Meh. This kid Goku, let's take a look. He is the giant ape kid Goku. If I remember correctly, I think he actually pairs up very well alongside the Intelligence Kid Goku. Either way, attack 80%, start a turn. Yeah, that's it. No thank you. Skippy. Super Saiyan Goku. Now here we are starting to get serious. Extreme Z Awakening. Check this out. Great chance to stun the enemy. And in case you guys don't know, here it is. Yeah, 70% chance to stun the enemy. That is very, very good. Key plus 2, attack and defense 80%, and 50% chance to crit when HP is 50% or above. Key plus 3 and attack and defense 100%, and 70% chance to crit when HP is below 50%. So it's actually pretty good. Good links too, like just really solid, great art as well. So very good card there. Very, very strong. You have a support Gohan here, Super Saiyan 2. So if we take a look here, raises attack for 1 turn. All allies attack and defense 35%. Fantastic links here. He's on a bunch of teams. He's a pretty solid support choice, especially if you're just trying to throw him in like catch-all teams. You have the physical base form Spirit Bomb Boy. Attack 10%, defense 20% for key sphere obtained. Causes supreme damage, greatly lowers defense. No thank you. Again, awesome card art. Unfortunately, wasted on that character. The physical Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. So changes rainbow key spheres to physical. Attack and defense 20%. Yeah, we're going to pass on that. And then you have another support card in the Super Saiyan Bardock, the physical one. Gives 2 key and 20% attack for all allies, as long as your HP is 30% or above. I've used him quite a bit on support teams in the past. Again, if you're just starting out, he's a decent choice for a support unit on a lot of teams. If we go over to this Super Saiyan Gotenks, who just received an Extreme Z Awakening, causes immense damage. That's big. So he causes immense damage, and he automatically seals super attack. Does 120% attack when performing super attack. Gives himself up to 3 ki and up to 120% attack with each super attack performed. So you just want to throw a lot of additional into this boy. Very, very good indeed. Especially on like youth and you know, Super Saiyans and, you know, all that stuff. So pretty solid Extreme Z Awakening. We got the boy Burgos. So if we go over to his Dokkan Awakened, he gives himself 12% attack and defense every time he gets a Ki Sphere, plus an additional 1% attack and defense per giant form category ally, up to 3%. So he maxes at 15% attack and defense. Meh. I'm going to pass on that for sure. The Truth's worst character in Dokkan Battle, Chowman. Ki plus 8, 3,000 attack when HP is 50% or below. You're like, okay, gives himself a lot of ki. That's insane. And he gives himself a lot of, well, not a lot. What am I talking about? He gives himself 3,000 attack when his health is super low. Which is like, okay, that's interesting. And he attacks all. What? Causes mass damage to all enemies? That's insane. But then sacrificing 20% HP. What? He's only on fusion. Get out of here. Get out of here. This is another fantastic choice here, especially for support cards, especially if you're going to have a lot of Vegetas and Trunks. This man has a great Extreme Z Awakening. His Supreme Super Attack, Supreme Damage Super Attack raises allies' attack by 30%, and his passive is he gives himself 2 ki and 30% attack and defense. Or I'm sorry, he gives everyone 2 ki, 30% attack and defense, which is fantastic. And then he gives himself that 70% attack and defense if there's 2 Vegeta family category allies in the team. Great links, great categories, great choice here. So let's X that out and let's go over to the old school support, GT Pan. I used to run her on the Shadow Dragon team when that team first came out because she gives 30% attack and defense for everyone as long as HP is 30% or above. Plus she gives everyone 25% attack when she supers. So she used to be a very good choice on the Shadow Dragon team. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to run her on any other team other than that. You got Weirus, who I've used once in a blue. He does not have a Dokkan Awakening, which is strange, but he changes tech and intelligence key spheres to physical, and he gives himself attack and defense 50%. So he's not terrible. You're probably not going to run him on too many teams. You could throw him on the fusion team, but he's going to also be on Realm of Gods. But like, who on Realm of Gods is physical that's going to, you know, really benefit from those physical orbs? I'm not really sure. So anyway, if we go to the extreme physical, we have the last 4. Champa. If you're running a Universe 6 team, he is pretty much mandatory on that team because he gives Universe 6 allies Ki plus 2 attack and defense 40%, and he gives himself a 25% chance of gaining 200% attack, which is pretty insane. I mean, doesn't have the greatest links, but I mean, not terrible. He links pretty good with Beerus and all those people that would be on a Realm of Gods team. So if we keep going, you're going to take a look at this boy here, Bergamo, who I pulled 1,000,000 of. Oh, he still does not have a Dokkan Awakening. Wow, that's actually insane. So attack 20% with each attack received, up to $120. Chance to turn to giant form. Terrible. Get out of here. No thank you. If we go to the Super Boo, who goes into Boo Tanks. Superclass enemies defense minus 50%, attack 100%. Yeah, no thank you. Seals, no thank you. Pass. And last but not least, Android 17. If we take a look at the Awakened forms, he's essentially the male and physical version of Android 18, the AGL one that I showed you earlier. 70% attack and defense. Changes text key spheres to physical. Changes strength to AGL when HP is 70% or below. So decent, and those are all 77 characters that you can choose, and pretty much you're just going to want to pick who you want. But like I said, good choices would be the physical Trunks, this Super Saiyan Spirit Bomb Goku, You'd also probably want to pick Topo, this Goten, possibly this Goku, 100% this Extreme Intelligence Cooler. You also want to take a look at, who else do we have here? Yeah, this Vegeta for sure. And I think those would be like the main ones that I would definitely suggest. So if you have any other ideas, please leave it in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to gently rub that subscribe button, gingerly ring that bell button, sensually kiss that like button. As always, this is Periodic. See y'all in the next video.